because I don't want my problems to be other people's problems, believe it or not, which is why I'm telling the internet. Hi, I'm Kate, and welcome to Always Tuck and Roll, where we discuss life, the universe, autism, and anything else that comes out of my head, which, fair warning, could be literally anything at this point in time. At some point in time, it might just be about volcanoes. Figure that one out. It's mostly because I love volcanoes. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Let's talk about food allergies versus intolerance. I have both, for the record. But I've seen more and more allergies pop up. I actually recently met someone whose wife has similar food allergies to me, which is crazy because I'm like the only person I know that's allergic to flavor. And I both am and I'm not. I'm serious. I am basically allergic to flavor. But we'll get there. So I think I'm actually on an Australian governmental website because they're still funding health education. That's pretty cool, right? Anyway, so what did they have to say? They say, it can be difficult to tell the difference between the symptoms of food allergy and food intolerance. Usually, symptoms caused by food allergy develop very soon after consuming the food. While symptoms caused by food intolerance can be immediate, they can also take 12 to 24 hours to develop. My lactose intolerance, I get 45 minutes. Ask me why I know that. Longest ride back from an ice cream place ever. At least it was a tasty milkshake. Anyway, food intolerance reactions are usually related to the amount of the food consumed. They may not occur until a certain amount or threshold level of the food is eaten. This amount varies for each person. Symptoms of food allergy and intolerance can also be caused by other conditions, so it's important to see your doctor for a medical diagnosis. Which, definitely. You don't want to mess around with anything that could potentially close off your throat and suffocate you. That's not great. So the symptoms of food intolerance can include nervousness, tremors, sweating, palpitations, rapid breathing, headache or migraine, diarrhea, burning sensations on the skin, tightness across the face and chest, breathing problems like asthma-like symptoms, and allergy-like reactions. So it's good there's no blurred lines in there at all trying to figure out if you're intolerant or allergic, right? Which is why you should engage a doctor. Symptoms of a food allergy. You get, they include swelling of the lips, face, and eyes, hives or welts, tingling mouth, abdominal pain, vomiting. Those are signs of anaphylaxis for an insect allergy. And coming from Australia, they know a thing or two about that. Signs of anaphylaxis for a severe allergic reaction, which I have never had, luckily. Difficult or noisy breathing, swelling of the tongue, swelling or tightness of throat, wheeze or persistent cough, difficulty talking or hoarse voice, persistent dizziness or collapse, pale and floppy, if that's in young children. So for me, yeah, I have a gluten issue and a dairy issue as far as my intolerances go. And with gluten, it's really interesting what my thresholds are, because if we're talking like plain white bread, I'm fine. But the second it's whole wheat, multigrain, it will feel like I ate razor blades. It will hurt so bad. I miss wheat thins. They were so like that and like a square cheddar cheese. Oh my goodness. But I can't do that anymore. It physically hurts too much. I basically kind of stopped eating crackers in general because of the dairy thing, though lactose is another thing. I'm fine with most cheeses, not even just hard versus soft, though I can tell a difference in my universe if I've had too much soft cheese. But at the same time, like flying back a few weeks ago, I had a Parisian sandwich, which was ham, butter, and brie. which is a weird combination, but tasted pretty tasty, so not going to complain. And I was actually fine. But I recently started trying to have other types of like protein bars, so I got these cookies that were using whey protein, and that was a no. That was a no. That was not as bad as like a wheat thin, but that was a no. Allergies, though. I am allergic to cinnamon. I'm allergic to cumin. I'm allergic to cayenne. I'm allergic to curry. I am allergic to nutmeg, paprika, and ginger. If it's red, if it has capsaicin, if it has any sort of a bite to it, I actually can't have it. I actually can't even deal with black pepper anymore, and it's not even that I'm allergic to it, it's that my diet is so bland that it hurts to eat any black pepper realistically at this point in time, which is frustrating because I do accept the need for pepper in certain dishes. So I promise you, like, I'm a super bland cooker. I am so grateful Pete is good with basically the only seasonings being involved in our lives being like garlic and onion and Italian seasoning. We also have a very tiny space for storage, so it has to be Italian seasoning. We can't break down all the green spices. But that's, we hate cooking. I'm joking about writing a cookbook about hating food. Still might do it. It's a cookbook for people who hate it. I know those exist, but it might be a nice exercise to figure out how I feel about it. This website goes on to talk about body parts affected by food allergy. So various sites on the body can be affected by allergic reaction to food. So it's, swelling of the face, lips, or eyes, swelling of the tongue, swelling of, or tightness in the throat, stomach pains, vomiting, skin rashes like hives or atopic dermatitis, your lungs, you wheeze, cough, and asthma. And I am an asthmatic. Which if I'm around pepper being cracked, the asthma will kick in, which was fun to find out. I want to not hate food, but like it is such a hassle to make. It's expensive to make. I have to be buying food. I have buyer's remorse over groceries, but I had that long before the current situation that we currently find ourselves in. That's not what this is about today, though, but I do have feelings. I don't go anaphylactic, at least not in the sense that my throat swells up. I've never felt that sensation. I will say, though, if I've had any alcohol at all, I will get hives if I've been exposed. I used to have a partner whose father did not like me and used to put Frank's Red Hot in my food. We ate out more often than we ate in, but on and off for 6 years. There were a lot of other problems there, but no. I've had people weaponize my food allergies against me. I also recently got out of an office job that I tried to not make my food allergies be a problem, but then I'd get in trouble for not being at my desk enough during like taco truck day when I cannot be around a taco. And my whole face and skin would get blotchy and itchy, and I'd be scratching. And then I'd be like, we'll go outside. And so I'd stand outside. But if I was gone for more than my allotted 15-minute break, there was hell to pay. I was having an allergic reaction. I feel like I have faced a lot of ridiculous injustice related to my food allergies because I'm not always willing to insert the need to protect myself because I don't want my problems to be other people's problems, believe it or not. Which is why I'm telling the internet. Make it make sense. Here we are. This is what we're doing. Maybe I'm just raising awareness. If someone has an allergy to something that you are providing to the world, and they keep saying, it's fine, while actively suffering, maybe do them a solid while they're trying to do you a solid and protect them like they're trying to protect you in return. Just saying. I had therapy this morning. I'm feeling a little spicy about things. But we've talked about ableism in disability enhanced workplaces, so, and we'll talk about it some more. So the next section on this webpage is severe allergic reactions to foods can be life-threatening. And I feel like, duh, like light bulbs, sirens, something. Obviously, that's what people know. Like peanuts, tree nuts, seafood, wheat, milk, eggs, all of those things can cause someone to go 0 to 100 and then that's it. We need to be more careful of other people's allergies. And I do have an issue with people like who just don't like something. And there's such a stigma about being a picky eater that people will lie about having a food allergy just so they don't have to eat a food. Just admit you don't like the food. It's okay to have preferences. It's okay to be a picky eater. Just don't make it everyone else's problem. It's your problem to handle for your own self. And I'm very lucky that in my household growing up, my mom was pretty good about trying to make sure there was something on the table that everyone could eat. Actually, maybe we should talk about ARFID in the middle of all this as a fun aside to this. Excuse me while I mistype things and decide to pivot in the middle of a video, because that's never happened before. ARFID, Avoidant Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. It is a condition that limits your food intake. It isn't caused by a negative self-image or a desire to change your body weight. Fear and anxiety about food or the consequences of eating, like choking, can lead to ARFID. The main treatment is cognitive behavioral therapy. So I do not have a formal diagnosis for ARFID, but I do suspect that I have it, and I do think it runs in my genes. I have family members who will not eat anything mushy. I have family members that food can't touch. I can certain ones of my food can touch. I'll talk about me and not like drop a dime on people on people who maybe don't want their stuff shared. Not that I'm naming names. But if it is charred, I don't want to eat it. I don't like the way it tastes. It's disgusting. If something is if I have a surprise crunch in food, my throat I will literally start gagging immediately. That's it. Any food that's in my mouth is no longer, that's not happening anymore. I don't like hot food. I prefer my food to be cold or room temperature, depending on what it is. I hate soup. I don't like hot liquids. And I am not the only person in my family that has these exact things, for the record. But again, other people won't eat mush, and others, I have family members that'll eat everything, so it's only a handful of us. I also don't understand lettuce. There's gotta be better ways of getting those nutrients, because I'm not eating leaves. It hurts in my mouth, and definitely don't put it on a burger. If it's gonna wilt, I don't want it. I mean, my only wilting exception is like spinach, but never on a burger. No lettuce on sandwiches. Not that a burger is a sandwich. We're getting off topic, more so than I anticipated us doing, because I always expect to be off topic, because I've met me. And no matter how hard I try, staying focused is not one of my strong suits. So it's okay to be picky. Eating disorder or not. It's okay to be picky. It's okay to have preferences. Please don't lie about having a food allergy if you just don't like something. Please admit that you just don't like something. And let's not vilify people for not liking certain foods, certain textures. Like, Seriously, it's ridiculous. Why do you care what someone else does or doesn't like? Are you eating their food? No? Then leave them alone. But I had a friend growing up who, for like the first 20 some odd years of our lives, was, I'm allergic to tomatoes. To the point where, like, sauceless pizza, no ketchup. And we respected that. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh yeah, no, I actually just don't like tomatoes, but they're growing on me a little bit now that I cook. Dude, great for you. I'm glad that you're overcoming your issues with tomatoes. I've had a love-hate relationship with them my whole life. Now they make my insides angry with their acidity, but I still eat them. Even though I think that they're bad for making your joints swell, and I need to probably have a lower inflammatory diet, but I don't like any of the foods in that. I don't eat nuts or seeds. I don't. Chips can be crunchy, crackers can be crunchy. Very few other foods are allowed to be crunchy, in my opinion. But that's me. That's my preference. I'm not going to hold that to you. And Pete eats Spam, and I know that Spam is a phenomenon, and I just don't. I roll my eyes and let him have what he wants. Those are our defend yourself nights. Off topic again. At least it was about food. But yeah, we should all be a little bit kinder to one another when it comes to how we choose to sustain ourselves with food. It's hard. I know that, it fascinates me. Foodies fascinate me. People who are just gung-ho about I'm gonna try this food, and I don't know much about it other than this, but I have no idea what the texture is gonna be, or the smell, or the taste, or anything, and mad respect for what a good sushi restaurant can do, but if I'm paying for food, I want it to be cooked. I really don't like the texture, and honestly, I grew up on the coast, and I don't particularly care much for fish. The texture is horrifying to my mouth, and the fact that there's always bones. I will have salmon from time to time, and I do like shellfish. But if I'm eating lobster, it better be able to see the ocean. And I usually know who caught the lobster too, realistically. And if it's I need to be able to see the water if I'm going to eat seafood, because I can taste the tank. Well, we are jumping the shark. Don't eat sharks. So, let's just eat and let others eat. But also, if you have a food allergy, it's okay to take a stand. Don't let other people make you feel guilty for being I cannot be around this food. I'm leaving, or I'm standing over here. I actually have a really great friend group. Whenever there is something being made that I can't eat, they will ask me specifically, hey, what were your things again? I've shown up to a party and they had a crock pot vented out the back slider in the middle of winter because they wanted to make sure that it wasn't in the apartment. But my food allergies, for the record, we just got out of the scariest time of year for me. Do you know what it's like to be allergic to cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger during pumpkin spice season? During Christmas? With all those cinnamon pine cones and cinnamon brooms just everywhere in every store being I'm seasonal. And you walk into someone's house and they have seasonal candles. And you're great, I don't want to tell a host how to live their lives. We were visiting someone in LA, and I was sitting there and talked for a few hours, and just the whole time I could feel just my skin just go. And it took me a while to figure out what scent it was, because it didn't feel like cinnamon. It was gingerbread. I'm 100% sure those were gingerbread candles. And it's funny because once we got into the car, and he was how are you? I'm I think he had gingerbread candles lit. He was why didn't you say something I'm not going to tell someone I live in their house. My skin is so itchy. And then we went to Denny's and I had chicken tenders, and it was wonderful because chicken tenders are my safe food. So are French fries. Um, Not that that matters, but it's good to know what your safe foods are. I don't know what my ultimate point here was, other than like, I'm going to get back on my soapbox. Stand up for yourself with your food allergies and any other environmental allergy you have. You shouldn't have to live in pain. Like, we all have to live together, but try to stand up for yourself more than I ever have. And be like, hi, no, this is making me uncomfortable. And people, if you don't have food allergies, but you know someone that does, maybe don't test them, don't expose them to it eventually, thinking that like that's going to make it worse, or that you're going to cure them, because spoiler alert, every time you have an allergic reaction, the chances of it getting worse are exponential. And I'm sure there's a hard number for that, but that's not what this is about, and I don't feel like looking that up right now. You can look that up amongst yourselves. I was making points, right points. Be respectful of the surroundings around you, both sides. Like, we all, again, we have a very limited amount of space that we share. Let's not pollute it for one another in any way, shape, or form, be that with scents and odors and things that other people are allergic or intolerant to, or just the whining that you're allergic to everything there. Because I always try to keep that to a dull minimum. Like, seriously, I don't even tell hosts when they give me allergic reactions, because A, it's on me to spot them, and I do usually at events when I'm like, I don't know what that is, have someone who tastes the foods first for me, because it sucks to have an allergic reaction in public. And you're looking at someone who has survived 3 nights in New Orleans and drove across the Southwest. Did you know that there's a Tabasco bottling plant in Louisiana? I found out like 4 miles before we turned the corner, because we had the windows down, we didn't have working air conditioner, and all of a sudden, like, I was like, something's wrong. My eyes were pouring and my skin was getting red, and I'm just like, something's wrong. Something's wrong. And sure enough, turned the corner, bam, Tabasco bottling plant. Like, oh, that's why I feel like I'm the dude at the end of the original RoboCop. I think Red Foreman. That was his character's name in that 70s show. That is not the actor's name, but my brain is not bringing up an actual actor, so we're going to go with the guy that melts at the end of the OG RoboCop. Because I don't think that happens in the new RoboCop, but I also don't. The newer one was kind of forgettable, sorry. That's not what this is about. God, that should just be the name of the channel. Was I done making my points? I should have written them down, but winging it, here we are. Eat what you want. Don't tell other people what to eat. Be cognizant of people's allergies. Respect yourself and your personal space and your food allergies. Try not to make your life and other people's lives more complicated. And I should really take a page out of my own book, because, boy, you know what? I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Have good food if you want it. Eat something. Hydrate. Hydrating is important. Remember, you can go longer without food than you can water. And isn't that a fascinating human condition? And don't forget to always tuck and roll.